Well, once again, welcome everybody to Wednesday, January 15th, here at the Junior Shorthorn Plus show here at the National Western Stock Show. The National Western Stock Show is presented by Common Spirit Health. Common Spirit Health is the proud presenting partner and the official first aid provider of the National Western Stock Show. Common Spirit is committed to unleashing the healing power of the humanity through human kindness. You can learn more at mountain.commonspirit.org. Coming into our show ring for the National Western is going to be the Junior Shorthorn Plus show. This is class number 1. These are late spring heifer calves. They were calved May 6th through June 28th of 2024. We have an entry 2051 from Callaway Lorenzo of Sterling, Colorado. 2052 from Julia Lyons of New Auburn, Wisconsin. 2055 from Taven Locke of Sterling, Colorado. 2056 from Julia Lyons of New Auburn, Wisconsin. And rounding out our class will be entry 2057. That is J.C. Stutzman of Milford, Nebraska. This is the only class within this division. So first and second within class number 1 of your late spring heifer calves will become your champion and reserve champion spring heifer calves. As our show moves along here this morning, we will take time to introduce our judge in little snippets. Our judge for today's contest is Mr. Brett Barber. Brett Barber, along with his parents and siblings, own and operate Barber Ranch located in Channing, Texas. The purebred Hereford cattle operation has been in existence since 1904 and sells 150 bulls annually. Currently, 3 generations of the Barber family live and work on the ranch. We are excited for Mr. Brett Barber to judge this year's Junior Shorthorn Plus show.
Well, good morning, and certainly a pleasure to be here in Denver. And I know this is the last year in this historic Coliseum, and I've got super fond memories of this place. But really a pleasure and an honor to be here to sort your Shorthorn Plus and Shorthorn Junior shows. Got an outstanding set of heifers to start our Shorthorn Plus show. The heifer that leads off, a heifer, as you look at her data, really a high growth, high performing individual. You look at her, she fits that mold. Beautiful in terms of her profile and quality up through that front end. Tremendous amount of depth and spring of rib. A heifer stands on a big foot, a lot of substance of bone. You put her in motion, it really gets out, covers her track, but still maintains the quality and smoothness and femininity up through that front end. The super sound, powerful package that I love in terms of her overall power, quality, and structural correctness. Young lady's heifer that comes next. This is the youngest heifer in the class. Her more moderate frame, her more moderate and lower in her birth weight EPD. Super sound in terms of her feet and legs. Another beautiful profiling female. She's laid in neat through the point of her shoulders, yet really feminine and extended. She's a level designed heifer. I love her in terms of her depth and spring of rib. I like the youthfulness and the overall quality. I think that heifer's got a lot of future. Super sound in terms of her feet and legs. Heifer that comes in third's another beautiful profiling heifer. Probably not quite as smooth through the point of her shoulders. Love her in terms of her rib shape. Another heifer as you get in motion really gets out and covers her track. Beautiful in terms of her profile and overall quality. Big red heifer that comes in fourth. Heifer you appreciate for her length of body. I like the depth and spring of rib. Maybe not quite as smooth up through that front end, but beautiful in terms of her rib shape. And then the heifer that completes the class, really a straight line, nice balanced heifer. Probably not quite the natural shape, width of base or width of pins as the cattle above it. Outstanding set of Shorthorn Plus to start our Shorthorn female show.
Your results for class number 1 of your late spring heifer calves. 5th place, 2052 from Julian Lyons. 4th place, entry 2056 from Julia Lyons. 3rd place, entry 2055 from Taven Locke. 2nd place, and your reserve champion spring heifer calf is entry 2051 from Callaway Lorenzo. And your class winner and your champion spring heifer calf is entry 2057 from J.C. Stutzman. In the ring at this time now is class number 4 in the program. These are early spring heifer calves. We have a single entry in this class, entry 2058 with a date of birth of April 29th of 2024. This is Reese Locke of Sterling, Colorado.
Single entry out here in our April division. Another heifer I like in terms of her length of body. She's really straight in her lines, possesses a lot of balance and natural shape down that top, thick and square through her hip. With change anything, probably square up on those front feet, but really a deep ribbed, super nice, very stout designed April heifer calf.
Your results for class number 4, 1st place, entry 2058 from Reese Locke. We will reset our show ring and bring up class number 5 in the program. Class number 5 will be still some early spring heifer calves. We have a single entry within class number 5. We have entry 2059 with a date of birth of March 21st of 2024. This is going to be from Emily Schillenberg of Kingfisher, Oklahoma.
Another single entry in our March heifer calf division. A heifer, you look at her data, really a high growth, high performing individual. You look at her phenotypically, really a high quality, very structurally correct female that stops square on all four corners. You put her in motion, he really gets out and covers her track, lays in neat through the point of her shoulders. I think just beautiful. Get behind her, really expressive down that top, and thick and square through her hip. Love her in terms of her rib shape, just a super high quality, high performing heifer that's got really high growth numbers in terms of her EPDs.
Results for class number 5 of early spring heifer calves. First place, 2059, from Emily Schillenberg. At this time, we will now bring back our first place winners from classes 4 and 5, and our judge, Mr. Brett Barber, will select your champion and reserve champion early spring heifer calves.
We get our two class winners back out here in our spring heifer calf division. The heifer that wins that first class, April, more of a Cavanese, more moderate framed individual. Love her in terms of her straightness of lines, as we said in class. If I'd change anything, I'd square up on those front feet, but a low birth weight, really a nice numbered individual. Then our heifer that wins that last class, just a lot of performance. You appreciate the carcass data, the female displays. You look at her phenotypically, beautiful in terms of her profile. She's really angular and feminine up through her front end, yet powerful in terms of her rib and overall muscle shape. A female that's super sound in terms of her feet and legs. I think let's give these exhibitors a round of applause and we'll go select your division.
Your champion early spring heifer calf comes from class number 5. That is entry 2059 from Emily Schillenberg from Kingfisher, Oklahoma. Your reserve champion spring heifer calf comes from class number 4. That is entry 2058 from Maurice Locke of Sterling, Colorado. Up next into the program will be class number 8. Class number 8 will be junior heifer calves. We have a single entry within this class. This class has a date of birth of March 14th of 2024. We have the single entry 2061 from Maurice Locke of Sterling, Colorado.
Another single entry, February junior heifer calf, but another high Cavanese individual. She's sound in terms of her feet and legs. A female has got plenty of depth and spring of rib. Really broody. I love the quality up through that front end. Heifers you put in motion. Very fluid in terms of her movement. Just got a lot of quality. Really a structurally correct, high quality individual.
Your results for class number 8 of junior heifers. First place, 2061 from Maurice Locke of Sterling, Colorado. We will reset our ring and bring up class number 9. Class number 9 will be junior heifer calves. Date of birth will be January 5th of 2024. We have a single entry in this class, 2062 from J.C. Stutzman of Milford, Nebraska.
Got a single entry out here in our January division, but a heifer I think could stand a lot of competition. Beautiful in terms of her profile. A heifer is really angular and feminine, a lot of quality up through that front end, yet powerful in terms of her rib and overall natural shape. Love the width of base. Females you put in motion, really gets out, covers her track. Very fluid in terms of her movement, just a beautiful high quality individual.
Your results for class number 9 of junior heifer calves. First place, 2062 from J.C. Stutzman. At this time, we will bring back our first place winner from class number 8, and our judge, Brett Barber, will select your champion and reserve champion junior heifer calves.
We've got, when we get our class winners back out here in our junior heifer calf division, the black heifer that wins the February class, just a beautiful profile, and she's sound in terms of her feet and legs. She lays in neat through the point of her shoulders, got a lot of quality and look about her. Heifer that wins the January class, a little more powerful individual, really another high quality, super sound individual. Both these heifers are super sound in terms of her feet and legs. Got plenty of quality up through that front end and look from the side view. Red heifer's probably just a little more powerful in terms of her rib and natural shape, but it's really both heifers are really good. Nice to have your EPDs out here, and with that, it kind of eliminates the cattle that don't have really good numbers, and you kind of just eliminate the problem. So my hat's off to the Shorthorn Association for providing the judge with these EPDs. It teaches the young kiddos what really the commercial industry is looking for, and it's a good way to educate them, and all of these heifers have been acceptable. With that, let's give these exhibitors a round of applause, and we'll go select your champions.
Your champion junior heifer calf comes from class number 9. That is entry 2062 from J.C. Stutzman. Your reserve champion will become 2061 from Reese Locke of Sterling, Colorado. Up next with the program is class number 12. These are senior heifer calves. We have in this class a single entry, 2065 from Bianca Wood of McCook, Nebraska. Date of birth on this senior heifer calf is September 11th of 2023. This is the only entry in the class and the only class in the division. So first place within class 12 becomes your champion senior heifer calf.
Another single entry, but really a high quality September heifer calf out here. She's sound in terms of her feet and legs. Love her in terms of her fleshing ability, the depth and spring of rib. A high volume, bold sprung heifer that's got plenty of dimension down that top and width the base, and still maintains the quality and smoothness up through that front end. The heifers you put in motion really gets out and covers her track.
Your results for class number 12. First place and your champion senior heifer calf is entry 2065 from Bianca Wood of McCook, Nebraska. At this time, we will now bring back all of our division winners. Our judge, Mr. Brett Barber, will select your champion and reserve champion Shorthorn Plus females. Making their way into the ring is going to be our division winners. From your late spring heifer calf division, your champion is entry 2057 from J.C. Stutzman, the reserve being 2051 from Callaway Lorenzo. From your second division, which is your early spring heifer calves, your champion 2059 from Emily Schillenberg. The reserve being 2058 from Reese Locke. Your third division of junior heifer calves, your champion 2062 from J.C. Stutzman. The reserve coming from 2061 of Reese Locke. And rounding out our grand drive would be the fourth division of senior heifer calves. We have the champion 2065 from Bianca Wood. These are your division winners in contention for your grand and reserve grand champion Shorthorn Plus females.
It's certainly been my pleasure to sort through a great set of Shorthorn Plus heifers out here, and I applaud you exhibitors and breeders for bringing an outstanding set. It's nice to, when a judge has the EPDs in his hand, really all that does is teaches y'all as breeders kind of what the data is used for, and you know, it really helps commercial guys when they're selecting bulls, and I think when you give the judges that data, it eliminates the red flags or the bad numbered cattle. With that, all these cattle are acceptable in terms of our EPDs, and I applaud you Shorthorn breeders for bringing such a really an outstanding set. And it's certainly been my pleasure. As I said, this is a historic venue out here that I've bet my family's shown cattle here for over 50 years, and it's certainly one of the great places to showcase a great set of Shorthorn. I can't remember when I judged the National Shorthorn here with Jim Gallooly. That was one of my first big national shows when I was a youngster at Michigan State, and it's certainly a pleasure to always sort here at the Super Bowl of cattle shows. With that, let's give these exhibitors a round of applause, and we'll go select your grand and reserve champion Shorthorn Plus heifers.
Your grand champion Shorthorn Plus female comes from your third division of junior heifer calves. That is entry 2062 from J.C. Stutzman. Rolling into consideration now will be the reserve from that division. That'll be entry 2061 from Reese Locke. Your reserve grand champion Shorthorn Plus female comes from your second division. That is entry 2059 from Emily Schillenberg. At this time, we will have a quick picture break with our official photographers of Legacy Livestock Imaging at the backdrop. Once our pictures have concluded, we will get started up with our Purebred Junior Show, starting off with class number 1 of late spring heifer calves. And if you are a division winner and a division champion, whether it be champion or reserve, we will need pictures of you and your animal at the backdrop. So please, all division winners, make your way to the backdrop and don't be so excited to jump in front. You're more than welcome to get in when there's an opening. While we have a break, it's a good time to mention some of the National Western Stock Show sponsors. The National Western Stock Show, again, is presented by Common Spirit Health, but not made possible without Saunders Construction. Saunders was locally founded in 1972 and is now one of the largest and most stable construction companies in Colorado. They are the ones who are leading the new Legacy building for our Western lifestyle. Saunders offers well-paid positions and opportunities for career growth. You can visit www.saundersinc.com for more information on career opportunities. Also, Sullivan Supply. Sullivan Supply is a family-owned and operated company founded in 1989. They are the innovative leader in livestock show supplies, and they have kept the values of hard work, family ties, and quality products at their core. Sullivan Supply is proud to service the livestock industry and wishes all the exhibitors this year at the National Western Stock Show the best of luck. John Deere is the official agricultural and turf equipment provider of the National Western. You can visit your local John Deere dealer for great deals now and in the future. Always remember, nothing runs like a deer. And after the National Western Stock Show is concluded, the Colorado Farm Show. It's one of the largest and oldest farm shows in the nation, and the tradition continues January 28th, 29th, and 30th at Island Grove Regional Park in Greeley, Colorado. You can see the latest agricultural equipment. You can visit over 300 exhibitors, attend free seminars with more than 60 engaging speakers, and network to create long-lasting connections. For more information, go to coloradofarmshow.com. And everyone knows when you're traveling from across the United States, sometimes you have tire problems. If you have tire problems, visit our folks over at Les Schwab Tires. When you buy tires at Les Schwab, you're getting more than just tires. You're getting America's best tire warranty. Visit your local Les Schwab today and book your appointment at leschwab.com. Well, welcome everybody back into the show ring. We're going to go ahead and get started with our junior purebred portion of our show for the Shorthorns. In the ring at this time is now class number 1. These are late spring heifer calves. We have 3 entries within this class. Entry 2081 from Alden Vaughn of Maxwell, Iowa. Date of birth on 2081 is July 12th of 2024. We have entry 2080 with a date of birth of May 10th of 2024. That is Brigham DeBoard of Bardwell, Texas. And entry 2083 with a date of birth of May 4th of 2024. That is Aliyah Beach of Palmyra, Nebraska. First and second within this class will become your champion and reserve champion late spring heifers. Once again, our judge for our purebred show is still going to be the same judge that was for our Shorthorn Plus. That is none other than Mr. Brett Barber. Brett received his bachelor's degree from Texas A&M University and his master's degree from Michigan State University, where he managed their purebred beef unit for 12 years. After his time at Michigan, Brett was on to manage operations in Georgia, where there he raised Angus, Hereford, and Simmental cattle. Brett has been back home in Texas for over a decade and is an integral part of the day-to-day functions and management of Barber Ranch. Brett and his wife, Carla, have 5 children that keep them busy by helping them with their education and career endeavors. Any time off the ranch is usually spent with one of their children.
Really a nice set of late spring heifer calves to start our purebred show. Heifer that leads off, just a deep rib, bold sprung, really angular and feminine fronted female. She lays in neat through the point of her shoulders, really a lot of quality front end. A heifer, when you put her in motion and she's wanting to walk, she gets out, really covers her track. Beautiful in terms of her overall profile. Young lady's heifer that comes in second's another moderate frame, really a thick top, thick hipped heifer. Probably not quite the rib shape as a heifer that leads off, but another sound, really a high quality individual. Young man's heifer that comes in third, youngest heifer in this class, but beautiful in terms of her profile. I like the youthfulness of her. I like the femininity and extension up through that front end. Just not quite as powerful in terms of her overall dimension, but as a heifer is really going to make a nice brood cow. Super sound in terms of her feet and legs. That young man does a superb job presenting that heifer.
Your results for Class 1 of late spring heifer calves. Third place, 2081 from Alden Vaughn. Second place and your reserve champion spring heifer calf is entry 2083 from Aaliyah Beach. And your class winner and champion late spring heifer is entry 2080 from Brigham DeBoard. Making the way into the ring at this time is now class number 4. These are early spring heifer calves. Within this class, we have entries 2084, date of birth April 19th of 2024, is Aisley Beach. Entry 2086 from April 8th of 2024 is Kinsley White. And rounding out our class is entry 2087 with the date of birth of April 3rd of 2024 is Colton Greenhorn. These are the 3 entries that will make up your first class of early spring heifers.
Three really outstanding April heifer calves out here. Heifer that leads off, beautiful in terms of her profile. A heifer's powerful in terms of her rib shape and natural shape down that top, thick and square through her hip. A heifer stops all square on all four corners. It's yet really beautiful up through that front end. Just gives you a really pleasing pattern from the side, and powerful in terms of her rib and shape, super sound in terms of her feet and legs. Heifer that comes in second, moderate frame female, very straight in her lines, a lot of balance, not quite the rib shape as a heifer that leads off, but another super sound, powerful individual. Young lady's heifer that comes in third, you appreciate the dimension down that top and the squareness through that hip, maybe not quite the depth and spring of rib, not quite as extended out through that front end, but really appreciate the overall balance and the overall muscle shape down that top and through that stifle.
Your results for class number 4 of early spring heifers. Third place, 2086 from Kinsley White. Second place, 2084 from Aisley Beach. And your class winner, 2087, comes from Colton Greenhorn. Making their way into the ring slowly but surely will be our next class, class number 5. These are still early spring heifer calves. Within class number 5, we have entry 2089 from Julia Lyons with a date of birth of March 17th of 2024. Entry 2124 comes from Paige Parker. That is a date of birth of March 17th of 2024. 2090 comes from Alexa Turner, date of birth March 16th of 2024. 2092 comes from J.C. Stutzman with a date of birth of March 13th of 2024. And rounding out our class for class number 5 is entry 2093. That is coming from Hadley Kirst with a date of birth of March 12th of 2024. These are the 5 entries that will make up your class number 5 of early spring heifers.
Really an outstanding set of March heifer calves out here. Heifer that leads off just beautiful up through that front end. A heifer lays in neat through the point of her shoulders. She's really extended and smooth up through that front end, yet has a lot of dimension through that rib shape. I love her in terms of her natural shape down that top, thick and square through that hip. A heifer who stops really square on all four corners and very fluid when you ask her to get out and go. Heifer that comes in second, another long-sided, really extended up through that front end. Not quite the rib shape as the heifer calf that leads off the class, but another super sound, big-footed, very structurally correct individual. Heifer that comes in third is your highest growth performance on data. A heifer I love in terms of her rib shape, maybe not quite as extended out through that front end as the two heifers that precede her, but a powerful heifer in terms of her data, love her in terms of her rib shape. Heifer that comes in next, another female you appreciate for her fleshing ability, plenty of dimension down that top through her quarter, maybe gets a little coarser up through that front end compared to the heifers above her, but appreciate the overall volume and natural thickness in her. Heifer that completes the class, beautiful in terms of her profile. You love her in terms of her youthfulness and leanness. I'm a female, just like to have her a little more width to base and natural shape.
Your results for class number 5 of early spring heifer calves. 5th place, 2089 from Julia Lyons. 4th place, 2093 from Hadley Kirst. 3rd place, 2124 from Paige Parker. 2nd place, 2092 from J.C. Stutzman. And your class winner, entry 2090 from Alexa Turner. Coming into the ring at this time will now be class number 6. These are early spring heifer calves. We'll have entries 2094 with a date of birth of March 10th of 2024 from Kaysen Carlson. 2095 with a DOB of March 5th of 2024 from Brock David Studer. 2096 with a date of birth of March 3rd of 2024 from Sarah Allard. 2097 with a date of birth of March 3rd, 2024 from Lane Meek. And rounding out our class would be entry 2099 with a date of birth of March 3rd of 2024 from Donovan West. These are the entries that will make up class number 6, the last class of our division of early spring heifers. A little bit of a housekeeping note here. If you are not in the show ring for helping out your exhibitor, we ask that you move into the stands and observe from the stands, just for the safety of the animals and the exhibitors in the ring. We want to make sure that nobody gets spooked. So please, if you can, move to the grandstands. Thank you.
Really good class and of March heifer calves out here. Heifer that leads off, just powerful in terms of her rib, overall volume, still maintains the quality. It's smoothest up through that front end. Another heifer stops really square on her all four corners, and you put her in motion, very fluid in terms of her movement. Young man's heifer that comes next, another deep rib, bold sprung heifer, probably not quite the extension out through that front end, not quite the width of top as the heifer that leads off, but two super sound, deep rib, bold sprung, high quality individuals. Young man's heifer that comes in third, another heifer you appreciate his rib shape, her overall volume, maybe not quite as extended and feminine out through that front end. Heifer that comes next, another straight line, really a nice balance, structurally correct heifer, just like to see more width to base and natural dimension. The young lady's heifer that completes the class, a female's got some depth and spring of rib, got some length of body, just like to give her more width to pins and let her take a longer stride off behind.
The results coming in for class number 6 of early spring heifer calves. 5th place, 2097 from Lane Meek. 4th place, 2099 from Donovan West. 3rd place, 2094 from Kaysen Carlson. 2nd place, 2095 from Brock David Studer. And your class winner, 2096 from Sarah Allard. At this time, within our show ring, we will bring back our classes winners from 4, 5, and 6, and our judge will select your champion and reserve champion early spring heifer calves.
We get our class winners and seconds back out here in this division. Really a quality division from top to bottom. That heifer calf that wins the youngest class, just a deep rib, bowl sprung, powerful individual that's super sound in terms of her feet and legs. Love the way she's got the dimension down that top and thick and square through that hip. Heifer that wins that middle class really hits you hard from the side, just beautiful up through that front end, yet she lays in neat through the point of her shoulders, yet get behind her, really expressive down that top, so eloquent up through that front end and extended and feminine, super sound when you put her in motion, stop square on all four corners, love her in terms of her rib shape. The red heifer that wins that last class, just a big foot, powerful individual in terms of her structure, super sound in terms of her feet and legs, powerful in terms of her overall rib. I love her in terms of that profile from the side. I think just a really high quality. My hat's off to you. When our second place is that young lady that's second in the first class, a little more moderate frame, not quite the power in terms of her rib shape as the heifer that leads that class. A longer sided individual that's got a lot of extension up through that front end. That's second in our middle class, not as quite as powerful in terms of her rib or natural shape. Then the second place in that last class, just a deep rib, bold sprung, probably not quite as extended out through that front end, not quite the rib as it leads off that class. Really an outstanding set. Let's give these juniors a round of applause and we'll go select your division.
Your champion early spring heifer calf comes from your second class. That is going to be entry 2090 from Alexa Turner. Rolling into consideration for the reserve will now be the second place from class number 5, entry 2092 from J.C. Stutzman. Your reserve champion early spring heifer calf comes from class number 6. That is entry 2096 from Sarah Allard. At this time, within our Shorthorn Purebred show, we will bring up class number 9. Class number 9 will be junior heifer calf division. Within our class number 9, we will have entries 2127 from Anna Lynn Beach with a date of birth of February 22nd of 2024. We'll also have entry 2102 coming from Colton Greenhorn with the date of birth of February 13th of 2024. These will be the 2 February entries for your class number 9 of junior heifer calves.
We get 2 Februarys out here. Differences I see, they're pretty close in terms of our EPD data. Heifer that we're leading off with, bigger footed, stouter structured. A female really gets out and covers her track. Really lean in terms of her condition up through that front end. Really angler, got a lot of quality, just powerful in terms of her overall structure. Heifer that comes in second, probably a little more moderate frame, not quite as stout in terms of her overall structure. Like her in terms of her depth and spring of rib, maybe not quite as extended up through that front end. Both of them are super sound in terms of their feet and legs and get out and cover their track.
Your results coming in for class number 9 of junior heifer calves. Second place, 2102 from Colton Greenhorn of Bellbrook, Ohio. And your class winner, entry 2127 from Annalyn Beach of Palmyra, Nebraska. Coming into the ring at this time will now be class number 10. Class number 10 will be still junior heifer calves. We have a single entry in class 10, 2105 with the date of birth of January 3rd of 2024. This comes via way of Callie Turner of Mahomet, Illinois.
Single entry in this class, a really beautiful profile and really straight line, nice balanced heifer. Heifer, as you put in motion, gets out and covers her track. She's really lean and clean up through that front end. I love her in terms of her extension and overall quality. She's very straight in her lines and super sound in terms of her feet and legs.
Your results for class 10, first place, 2105 from Callie Turner. At this time, we will bring back our class winners from 9 and 10. Our judge, Brett Barber, will select your champion and reserve champion junior heifer calves. Coming back from class number 9, our first place entry, 2127 from Annalyn Beach. Second place being 2102 from Colton Greenhorn. And from class number 10, first place, 2105 from Callie Turner. These are the 3 animals in contention for your champion and reserve champion junior heifer calves.
We get our class winners back out here in our junior heifer calf division. Heifer that wins that February class, we talked to her in class, just a big foot, big bone, very fluid in terms of her movement, but just a super stout designed individual that's really angler and feminine up through that front end. Heifer that wins the January class, beautiful in terms of her profile. Again, a lot of quality and look about her. Maybe not quite as stout in terms of her overall structure, but beautiful in terms of her profile. Super sound in terms of her feet and legs, got a lot of quality. The second place in our February class, again, appreciate the depth and spring of rib. Maybe just not quite as stout in terms of her overall structure. Let's give these young exhibitors a round of applause for bringing you a great set of heifers out here, and we'll go select your divisions.
Your champion junior heifer calf comes from class number 9. That is entry 2127 from Annalyn Beach. In consideration now for the reserve, we'll roll in the second place from class number 10. That is entry 2102 from Colton Greenhorn. Your reserve champion junior winter heifer calf comes out of class number 10. That is entry 2105 from Callie Turner. Making way into the ring now is class number 13. This is our winter heifer calf division. Within class number 13, we have a single entry 2107 with a date of birth of November 22nd of 2023. This is Adeline Vaughn of Maxwell, Iowa.
Single entry in our November division. A heifer, I think, stand a lot of competition. Beautiful in terms of her profile. A heifer really a tremendous amount of depth and spring of rib. You love her rib shape. You get behind her, really expressive down that top and thick and square through that hip. You put her in motion, a heifer really gets out and covers her track. Just a beautiful profile and high quality heifer.
Your results for class 13 of winter heifer calves. First place, entry 2107 from Adeline Vaughn. Up next in the program would be class number 14. These are senior heifer calves. Class number 14 will consist of a single entry 2109 with the date of birth of October 10th of 2023. We have an entry from Ava Stutzman of Milford, Nebraska.
Another single entry, but a moderate frame, deep rib, easy fleshing October heifer calf out here. It's got some shape down her top and through her quarter. Stops really square on all four corners. I love her in terms of her rib and overall volume. Just a broody, powerful individual.
Your results coming in for class number 14, first place, entry 2109 from Ava Stutzman. At this time, we will bring back our class winner from class 13, and our judge will select your champion and reserve champion senior heifer calves.
We get our two class winners back out here in this fall division. The youngest heifer is on my left. She's a November. Just a beautiful profiling. Heifer's powerful in terms of her length of body and overall rib shape and volume. A heifer's sound in terms of her feet and legs. Tremendous amount of quality. The young lady's October heifer that wins that last class. Just a moderate frame, but a heifer's got some shape down her top and through her quarter, maybe not quite as extended out through her front end. Let's give both these young ladies a round of applause and we'll go to your division.
Your champion senior heifer calf comes from your first class of 13. That is entry 2107 from Adeline Vaughn. The reserve comes out of class 14. That is entry 2109 from Ava Stutzman. In the ring at this time now is class number 17. This is a new division. These are summer yearling females. Within class number 17, we have a single entry, 2112, with a date of birth of July 10th of 2023 from Alexa Turner.
Another single entry out here, but a July heifer that I think stand a lot of competition. She's beautiful up through that front end, really extended and smooth, yet powerful in terms of her rib and overall natural shape. A heifers you put in motion, very fluid in terms of her movement, gets out, covers her track, and stops square on all four corners. Just a beautiful profile and high quality, powerful individual.
Your results coming in out of class 17 of summer yearling females. First place, entry 2112 from Alexa Turner. Set to enter the ring at this time will now be class number 18. Class 18 would be late spring yearling females. Within this class 18, we will have 4 entries. Entries 2113 from Vidalia Kimball of Seymour, Wisconsin, with a date of birth of June 19th, 2023. Entry 2114 comes from Colton Greenhorn of Bellbrook, Ohio, with a date of birth of May 16th, 2023. Entry 2116 comes from Kylie Dostal of Howells, Nebraska, with a date of birth of May 12th of 2023. And rounding out our class would be the 4th entry, 2117, from Lane Blankenship of Orlando, Oklahoma, with a date of birth of May 1st of 2023. These are the 4 entries that will make up your last class of the division.
Really an outstanding class of late spring yearling heifers out here. Heifer that leads off the class, just powerful in terms of her muscle and volume. A heifer so extended and feminine out through her front end. A heifer stands on a big foot, a lot of substance of bone. You put her in motion, very fluid in terms of her movement, powerful in terms of her rib and liver, in terms of that silhouette, and beautiful in terms of her overall quality, powerful in terms of her rib shape. Heifer that comes in second's another sound moving individuals, not quite as extended out through that front end, not quite the flare through that lower stifle, but a female that gets out, covers her track, love her in terms of her depth and spring of rib. Heifer that comes in third, another female, stands on a big foot, a lot of substance of bone, probably not quite the dimension down that top heifer that leads off, but powerful in terms of her rib shape. I like the condition the heifer's in. Heifer that comes in fourth, you appreciate for depth and spring of rib. A heifer you'd like to square up on those front feet and just let her take a longer, freer stride off behind.
Your results coming in for Class 18 of late spring yearling females. Fourth place, 21-16 from Kylie Dustall. Third place, 21-13 from Vidalia Kimball. Second place, 21-17 from Lane Blankenship. And your class winner, 21-14 from Colton Greenhorn. Now at this time, we will bring back our class winners from classes 17 and 18. Our judge will select your champion and reserve champion intermediate females.
We get our class winners back out here in our intermediate division. The July heifer that wins that first class is a beautiful profile in heifer. She's really extended and feminine out through that front end. Sound in terms of her feet and legs. You love her in terms of her rib shape. Maybe not quite the muscle expression as a heifer that wins that second class, but a very beautiful profile and really a high quality, structurally correct female, and I like quite a bit from the side. Heifer that wins that next class, the May class, powerful in terms of her rib, stands on a big foot, a lot of substance of bone, still beautiful up through that front end, tremendous amount of thickness down that top and thick and square through that hip. You love her in terms of her rib shape. In our second place in that class, again, appreciate the depth and spring of rib, probably not quite as extended out through that front end as two heifers on this side. Let's give these young exhibitors a round of applause for bringing a great set of shorthorn heifers out here.
Your champion intermediate female comes from Class 18. That is entry 21-14 from Colton Greenhorn. Rolling into consideration will now be the second place from Class 18. That is 21-17 from Lane Blankenship. Your reserve champion intermediate female comes out of Class 17. That is entry 21-12 from Alexa Turner. Moving in the ring at this time is now Class 21. Class 21 is early spring yearling females. We have 3 entries slated for Class 21. Entries include 2118 from Sarah Allard with a date of birth of April 26, 2023. Entry 2119 comes from Paisley White, date of birth April 10th, 2023. And rounding out our class is entry 2121 from Alexa Turner with a date of birth of March 4th, 2023. These are the 3 entries that will make up Class 21. This is the only class within its division. Therefore, first and second within Class 21 will become your champion and reserve champion early spring females.
Re- Another really good class in our early spring yearling division. A heifer that leads off, super sound in terms of her feet and legs. She's still beautiful up through that front end. Got a lot of smoothness and extension. Like her in terms of her depth and spring of rib. A heifer is really straight in her lines, got tremendous amount of thickness down that top and through that quarter. You put her in motion, she's very fluid in terms of her movement. Heifer that comes in second, not quite the length of body. I appreciate the depth and spring of rib. A heifer is super sound in terms of her feet and legs, just not quite the extension and overall power in terms of muscle down that top and through that lower stifle. Super sound, super high quality up through that front end. Young ladies heifer that comes in third, an easy flesh and deep rib, bold sprung heifer, gets a little more chest floor, not quite as extended up through that front end. Sound in terms of her feet and legs, you appreciate the overall volume the heifer displays.
The results for Class 21 of early spring yearling females, third place, 2119 from Paisley White. Second place and your reserve champion, early spring female, is entry 2118 from Sarah Allard. Your class winner and your champion, early spring female, entry 2121, comes from Alexa Turner. Making their way into the ring at this time is now class 24. This is the only class in the division and the only entry in the class. First place within class 24 will become your champion junior female. We have entry 2122 from Colton Greenhorn.
Another single entry, but a heifer I think could stand a lot of competition. She's just beautiful from the side. She's very extended and smooth up through that front end. A heifer stops really square up on that front end. Love her in terms of her rib shape. Just really a high quality, structurally sound, powerful heifer.
Results for class 24, first place and your champion junior female, entry 2122 from Colton Greenhorn. At this time, our ring help will get our Grand Championship drive selected and set up. We will have all of our division winners return for our judge, Mr. Brett Barber, to select your Grand Champion and Reserve Grand Champion Shorthorn females for the Purebreds. Once again in the ring at this time is now our Grand Championship drive. We have all of our division winners back for contention for that coveted Grand Championship female. From our first division, our champions include the late spring heifer calf champion 2080 from Brigham DeBoard of Bardwell, Texas. The reserve being 2083 from Alaya Beach of Palmyra, Nebraska. For your second division of early spring heifer calves, your champion 2090 from Alexa Turner of Mahomet, Illinois. The reserve being 2096 from Sarah Allard of Sidney, Nebraska. Your third division, your junior heifer calf champions, 2127 from Annalyn Beach of Palmyra, Nebraska. The reserve being 2105 from Callie Turner of Mahomet, Illinois. Your fourth division of senior heifer calves, your champions, 2107 from Adeline Vaughn of Maxwell, Iowa. The reserve being 2109 from Ava Stutzman of Milford, Nebraska. Your fifth division of intermediate champions, 2114 from Colton Greenhorn of Bellbrook, Ohio. The reserve being 2112 from Alexa Turner of Mahomet, Illinois. Your sixth division of early spring champions, 2121 Alexa Turner from Mahomet, Illinois. The reserve being 2118 from Sarah Allard of Sidney, Nebraska. And your final division champions from your junior category, your champion 2122 from Colton Greenhorn of Bellbrook, Ohio. These are your champions in contention and consideration for your Grand and Reserve Grand Champion females of your Purebred Shorthorns. Once again, our judge for today's contest has been Mr. Brett Barber. Brett Barber has been fortunate to officiate state and national shows for 25 different cattle breeds in 40 different states, Canada, Mexico, and Argentina. Brett is thankful to be having chosen to be our judge for today's Shorthorn show. Once again, Brett received his bachelor's degree from Texas A&M University and his master's degree from Michigan State University. And we are appreciative of Brett's time today evaluating our junior show.
Well, it's certainly a pleasure to sort through a great set of Shorthorn purebreds and your Shorthorn Plus males this morning. I'd like to extend my thanks to the National Western and the American Shorthorn Association, Mr. Monty Souls. Monty and I have shown a lot of cattle out here together, and it's certainly reminisced of I think the Barber family shown 5 Supreme champions in the Hereford division when they selected a Supreme female, both bull and deal. So this stadium arena is very special to the Barber family and me. My 12 years at Michigan State, I think this was always the highlight, getting to come out and bring the students. And I don't know how many different national champions we've exhibited out here, but this stadium arena is very special to me, and I did get to, I don't know, it was the early 90s when I got to be this assistant to Mr. Jim Galooly, and we did your national show out here, and it's always an honor to sort a great set of cattle. Had the pleasure of sorting 4 days in Oklahoma City this past week, and it's always great. I want to thank you exhibitors, because you do have the option of coming and sorting when those names of the judges come out, and really appreciate bringing and getting a sort a great set of cattle today. I'm not going to go back and discuss each one. I hope you can see what I'm looking for. Very sound, functional cattle that have got some look and eye appeal. I appreciate your association for providing the data. What that's done is it's eliminated the problem cattle or the bad numbered cattle from out here. I'm not going to say there's not differences out here, but you're all acceptable, and I applaud your association for forward thinking. As the commercial cattle industry, they gotta have numbers for their selection, and you are leaders in the ag world, and my goes out to you. So with that, let's give these exhibitors a round of applause. It's certainly been my honor and privilege to sort through a great set of Shorthorn cattle today.
Your grand champion female comes from your 5th division. That is entry 2114 from Colton Greenhorn of Bellbrook, Ohio. Rolling into consideration will be the reserve from the 5th division. That'll be 2112 from Alexa Turner. Your reserve grand champion is your champion early spring heifer calf. That is entry 2090 from Alexa Turner of Mahomet, Illinois. Congratulations to all of our Shorthorn exhibitors. Don't forget, pictures at the backdrop will start here shortly. We will need all of our division winners to take pictures at the backdrop. Our official photographers are Legacy Livestock Imaging. They will have images up as soon as possible for everyone to share. And remember that they are the official photographers at the backdrop. So please, no cell phones or any other type of photography. Please let them do what they are meant to do and take pictures of your animals.